KPOP is the Hebrew acronym for face-to-face combat. It is the original combat system of defensive tactics, hand-to-hand combat, and self-defense employed by the Israeli Defense and Security Forces, the Israeli National Police, and its special operations and anti-terrorist units. KPOP fight tactics originated in the 1940s and were used by the Palmach forces in fighting for the independence of the State of Israel. These Palmach units later formed the core of Israel's special units in the conventional military. The modern-day KPOP combat system is headed by Lieutenant Colonel Chaim Pierre, who served in one of Israel's most elite units called Matkal, and later on trained other special units in guerrilla warfare and hand-to-hand combat tactics. The KPOP system was updated from its basic form of combat by the operatives of special units and official instructors that served and still serve in Israel's different security branches. The KPOP Federation is based in Israel, with the KPOP Academy serving as its sole representative in the United States. The KPOP Academy was formed by two former official Israeli military and police instructors in counter-terror combatives, also known as LOTAR. Major Avi Nardia served in a police special unit known as Yamam as an intelligence team member and defensive tactics CQB instructor. In 24 years of service to the Israeli Defense Forces, Major Nardia took part in the Lebanese War of 1982, where he earned the rank of major. As well, he has trained police agencies and armed forces all over the world, from police patrol and corrections officers to SWAT, SRT, and SERT team members, from Army, Marine, and counter-terror units to special forces. In Israel, he taught defensive tactics and operational behavior at the Operational Police Academy, which is charged with training the entire police force of the country. To this day, he is a CQB trainer in the Israeli Defense Force Reserves, as well as a reserve police sniper. Albert Timmon is a former elite counterintelligence undercover unit member for the IDF, as well as a LOTAR and CQB instructor for various police SWAT schools. Albert is one of only a few security operatives in the world to arrest a live suicide bomber. The bomber still had his explosive belt strapped on and was caught in the act of committing a bombing. In his 18 years of operational experience, Albert has trained special units in tactics and cross-trained with the best operational units in the world.
Okay, let's say that I'm standing on a bar and a guy comes and he's mugging me. What is my self-defense if I teach you self-defense? Give him the money. Definitely when it's not your money. The guy comes, he mug a bar, he mug a store, take everything, just don't shoot me. Now, I have a table or something in between us. Now, if I do the same gun disarming, like one, and I want to punch him, look what happened if I do this and he go back. How are you going to fight with him? Mostly when you have something in between yourself. And the main problem come because when people demo this gun disarming, they didn't understand where it come from. It come from the Israeli military, from situations that they used to kidnap soldiers. Mostly it happened inside cars. In Israel, it's very common that soldiers hiking and then they've been kidnapped by terrorists. And to prevent this, they start to teach soldiers some self-defense inside cars. And mostly some special forces they teach because they go for tracking those terrorists. So the situation was made for a car. But when you have 20 soldiers in a line, and I cannot teach them inside a car. So for example, I do this and they play standing. But if you do it for a standing situation and you go back, we get back to the field of fire and to the danger. Now I show you where this exercise is coming from, and it can be used only when you're sitting down. The situation was made that the soldier is hiking, you have the driver, many times a guy near to the driver, and we have the third person terrorist, and now I open the door, I come in, say, oh, you're going to Tel Aviv, good. And I'm sitting. Once I'm sitting, the guy put a gun to myself. Now, I say, don't kill me, I do anything. When I put the gun, I shoot the first guy, which is the guy near to the driver. Now, if I punch him, I break my hand, I cannot operate the gun. That's why I want maybe to smack him. But let's say that even you have a very good punch, you're training for many years martial art, you're training on makiwara and on sandbags, so you can take the impact with the punch. Now he cannot go back. Go back. You have the chair of the car, so I can go and take the gun, open the door and escape myself. And this gun disarming was made for sitting situation. The problem in Israeli martial art today, most of the people that teach Israeli martial art, unfortunately, never served in the Israeli army, and definitely not as a teacher. And not only in the Israeli army, there is much more high level than the basic military training program, which is nothing. Even the head of the department never could pass the level to get to the police. But I'm not talking about politics, I'm talking about those people create a genetic mistakes today in the market that are copied not by other Israelis martial art and keep building a new names Israeli martial art leading to a deadly mistake. I'm talking about people that are not qualified to teach gun, they are not teaching for shooting because they're not qualified in Israel to teach it. And definitely not in the police and counterterrorism unit where the all art of guns coming from. And that will make the big difference and create deadly mistake today in the market with Israeli martial art. It's because many times people run, just they want to do marketing and they want to sell you exercise without even understand the roots, where it comes from, what is the history, what's good, what's bad, how to teach it, and why to teach it, when to teach it.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the second types of weapon. I call it the second type because, well, we used to nickname it back home like hot weapons and cold weapons. Hot weapons is everything that fires, everything that shoots, everything that got pyrotechnic reaction behind it. The cold weapon section, what we called it, is everything that doesn't have to have a mechanism. It could be from a kitchen knife to the most high-tech tactical blade. When I'm talking about cold weapons, I refer mainly to blades. Now, knives are pretty much been out there ever since man was out there, whether they were from just shattered stone, later on from the bronze period, it was from bronze, metal, iron, and so forth, till today, till this day, special high-tech ballistic plastics and all kinds of stuff that imitates metal but have almost the same devastating effect. In front of me here you see pretty much a selections of knife. A knife doesn't need to, doesn't really have to know or have a knowledge how to use a knife. And pretty much everything you stick it, you stab, you kind of swivel it around, it's going to slash and create damage. You have to know how to use a knife. That's part of the kapop system, knowing how to utilize a blade, a gun, and your body empty-handed. Let's talk a little bit about knives. Pretty much we have two types of knives. We have, here you can see two trainer blades, standard military Randall 1. Of course, those are replicas. Those are not for action. Those are for training. Make sure always when you're training, you're never training with a live blade. Don't tape the blade. Don't train with the sheath on. Always train with a blade that is meant only for one thing, for training. Okay? We have a replica of a karambit knife, an Indonesian knife. It's very good for CQB, for close quarter, especially for high risk entry. Room search, whether you're civilian home protection, to a tactical situation, military special ops team. They have to engage. Very good gutter ring. It's hard to disarm, and it's very very comfortable to hold. It's very you have to use it a lot of confidence. Two main groups of knives. Knife that needs some kind of assembly, like folders. Okay, have to some kind of mechanism open the blade in order to utilize it. And fixed blades. It's one steel, one chunk of metal from all the way from the tip to the bottom. The knives can be utilized for stabbing with the point, for slashing with the blade, and for striking non-lethal strike, delivering non-lethal, but yet at the same time very effective with the butt of the knife. Okay, so that's the difference. This knife is ready to go in my hands as soon as I pull it out of its sheath. Those folders need to have some kind of assembly. Some of them are legal in some countries and states, some are not. It's really important to remember that some knives are automatically pulled out. It's a very good knife from a very famous manufacturer. The weight feature here is very good. When you put it in your pocket, they're very quick, by the way. Most of the knives, all you gotta do is pull them out and open them. That specific knife, all you gotta do is pull back. There you have it straight in your hand, ready to use. Almost like the same reaction as a fixed blade is gonna have in a sheath. Okay, and then you fold it. Knives come in very small sizes. You can see some of them are plain, some of them are semi-plain or combo knives, half serrated. Some of them are fully serrated. Personally, I prefer serrated. Why? What's the best steak knife? Serrated. You make your own common sense. Okay? From here, this section, I got a very, mostly illegal in most state and countries, a push dagger. Hold it like so. If you're a boxer, or you just go crazy with it, you slash, you stab, you punch, you poke. It's a very good weapon. It's double-edged. It's very dangerous. I recommend it like for people that do like VIP or SWAT teams or tactical team. Of course, make sure it's legal before you carry it. You can see here a replica in the same time. It's in the same. It's pretty much in the same purpose as this was push dagger. The only thing is, the only difference, this is metal and this is plastic. Okay, still this is special ballistic plastic, is going to create a tremendous amount of damage while stabbing and even slashing. The only problem with that thing is metal detector. It's not going to go through. Another thing is people get creative, like you saw right here, all those ballistic plastics. That's pretty much a knife. There is not only that specific shape, they come in all kind of different shape and forms. Like I said, people get creative. They start doing them in a credit card kind of shape. You would never detect that. This is a specific knife, card knife. Looks like a ordinary business card or a credit card. But if you actually look really close, you would see that the little corner here is actually a cutting blade. Okay, utilizing it, the fact that it's made of titanium doesn't allow it. Again, same thing like with the polymeric one, it won't go through metal detectors. Pretty much knives are been there always, ever since man was out there. Legally to carry, very simple to use, but yet again you have to know how to use them effectively. We believe strongly in knives and guns. Why? Because those weapons are commonly being actually found in the streets, whether on just law-abiding civilians to gangbangers and just people with bad intent. So keep that in mind. You have to know and practice the art of the blade, and make sure that, because a knife can actually save your life. I'm just not talking about self-defense situation. I'm talking about cutting seatbelts, rescuing yourself from different type of environments when you're trapped, whether it's underwater or on land. Okay, let's start with the knives a little bit. Like I said before in my introduction when I presented knives, a knife is one big chunk of metal. Okay, it's pretty simple to use. You don't have to even read a manual. If you do like this, it's going to stab. If you're going to do like that, it's going to slash. It's pretty simple. But there is an entire art behind the blade. And ever since man was out there and knife was out there too, military is part of their integral weapon among their arsenal. It's the closest weapon you can get after empty-handed. Okay, from closing the range, you got your knife. That's with all the smart bombs, high-tech weapons. It comes down to the knife. What we're going to show today is pretty much basic defense against very common angles. Now, when I say angles, it's pretty much if you can think of give a 5-year-old a knife and tell them start slashing and cutting, those are pretty much the angles you're going to see. Why? Because it's natural. Why boxing is effective? Because it's natural. Why jiu-jitsu is effective? Yeah, you got to train, but the movement behind it is natural. Everything we do, almost 99% of it is natural movement, or at least is a natural in a way that we can gradually study from it. We don't have to force ourselves into some ridiculous movements. Very simple and gross motor reactions. Pretty easy to learn and very effective if you know how to use it. Excellent for self-defense. Okay, I'm gonna have my buddy Scott here helping me with the knife techniques. Before we start, let's talk a little bit about the grip. We have two main grips of a knife. We have a forward grip, okay, with my fist closed. See here, this is a replica of a military knife, so you can actually see a guard. If it was a folder, I would have my thumb extended on a kind of a serrated, non-cutting serrated ramp, like a thumb rest. Because if it's a military knife, I got a hilt to protect my fingers. I got the forward grip, the saber grip, coming originally from fencing, and I got the reverse grip again because it's a military knife. I don't have to worry about sliding my hand down. If it's a folder without a hilt, I should always cup it with my thumb. Okay, why? Because if it wasn't, I probably would slide it as I would stick it in somewhat. But what might happen, I can slide my hand along the blade, and that's not good. Okay? Both reverse grip and forward grip, the blade is always going to be pointing out. Always. Never. You see sometimes in the movies, see this? Why? Only to show that to emphasize a knife. If you're stabbing someone like this, at least do yourself a favor and make sure the blade is out so you can also come back. Forward, reverse cupped, and saber. That's all you have. A proper holding of the knife should be, the blade line is a straight line with your knuckles. Meaning that if I cut, I don't hold my knife like this or like that. Pretty much I imagine as if I'm cutting with my third knuckle right here of the hand. Okay, from this part. If Scott's holding a knife, the full tool grip, you can see that his blade line runs all the way down straight vertically into his knuckles. That means if he cuts me, he would cut me first with his knuckles in theory. Only in theory. If he would cut me for real, he would cut me straight with the blade. The knife got a blade and a handle. The blade is to cut with. The tip of the blade is to stab with. There's no other purposes for that. Some knives have a semi-blade to rack with. If you're familiar with Bowie knife working, you can also come with like a backhand, like a back rack with a knife. We also have a very important part of the knife, especially when it comes to a more advanced level. Filipino is known as the puño, or the butt of the knife. Okay, for delivered non-lethal strikes or for pairing and transitions. Let's start with angles of attack. Again, like I said, angles of attack is very simple, very basic. 1 through 5. I just number them, so it's going to be easy for us to memorize it, and it's not going to, I don't have to think hitting from left to right in the upper diagonal slash. Instead of that, I'll just say a number 2, and Scott would know what I'm talking about. Okay? So Scott's going to go through the angles of attack 1 to 5. 1. A slash number 1 was a horizontal slash. Can be in any part of the body. It can be high, it can be midsection, it can be low. Okay, so we got a high number 1, we got a middle number 1, we got a low number 1. Okay, it can be all the way down. It can be really low, number one, all the way to the thigh. As long as you're keeping the defensive principle, the angles remain the same. Okay, just the opposite backhand slash, number 2. Coming from the side with a backhand strike, coming from left to right this time in a diagonal motion from up to down. Again, number 2. Very good. Number 3, a horizontal slash. It can be up high. It can be midsection. It can be down low, groin area. It can be all the way down to the thigh, the quads. Okay, again, to monitor your damage. And number 4, same thing, horizontal cut. This time, again, from left to right, not from right to left. Okay, the backhand strike. 4, it can be a low forward. It could be a really low forward, all the way to the kneecap. Sever some ligaments and tendons of the knees. Okay, but the angle remains the same. And the last one is the most commonly used. Statistically says that it's the most common attack with the blade is the straightforward thrust, which is the most dangerous one because between 2 points, a straight line is the closest distance. So, number 5, okay, you notice how Scott actually rotates his knife as he comes to it. Slow, Scott. Okay, come back. And again, a slow number 5. See how he rotates his hand? He doesn't just stick it right in. Why? By doing that, if he gets counterattacked, he's not going to get hit. We'll talk about in a second. He's not going to get hit in his vital tendons and arteries here. He's going to get a lot of muscle tissue, but that's repairable. Okay, and he can keep on going with the fighting or just getting off and taking off from the fight, the combat zone or the scene. Also, notice that pretty much we try to unify everything. Same thing. If I held his knife for a second, release for a second, Scott, and Scott would actually throw a hook. Okay, with the other hand. Now right cross. Okay, so as you are opening your hand. See, the hand would remain in the same position, like he would throw the punch, like he would thrust with the knife. So we kind of narrow down everything for one thing.
Okay, first of all, when I start teaching guns, many people got shrink and say gun is not a martial art, and I must make it very clear, a gun is a modern archery. When we had both of us a knife, if he stab me and I stab him, both are dying. That's why I put my knife on a stick, and actually I create a spear. So when he's not on the distance to stab me, I'm already stabbing him. Now they make a short spear and it's arrow, and instead of throw it, we deliver it with a bow, okay, with a string power. Now they find the black powder, so they take a shell, put black powder, put a primer, put the edge weapon, which is a small knife. This is the bullet in the mid. You smack it, the nitroglycerin burn, create a spark, burn the black powder, create gas, and throw the bullet forward. So the gun is an art, and as Kyudo is a martial art, traditional, the modern archery is guns. Now, guns are under the weapons of edge weapon. And let's talk a little bit about edge weapon like a knife. I'm not going still to go deep to the knife. I'm just going to show 2 very basic mistakes in disarming a knife. So when the guy steps from under, okay, and you block like this. I block. Instead, if I tell you that your hand in this defense will be cut, either this part or this part. Now, what you will be preferred to be cut, this part or this part? So that's your first mistake when you do it. Okay? Because again, when the guy comes forward to stab and you do it, you actually force him to go back. So, because I'm punching, and he will cut your hand. By mistake or by whatever. Now, if you do it, for example, this way, it's more safe. Also, you can take it a little bit away and trap it immediately. But I'm still not want to go to how to disarming a knife. I'm just pointing basic mistakes. Okay? Now, if the knife comes from up, again, like this way. Now, let me show you how a knife man works. A knife man hold a knife here, and the other hand is here to defend his artery. It will never fight like this. It's all time fighting like this. Even the knife don't go too out. It's like jiu-jitsu, you don't give your hand. So if he push his hand forward, you see, it's like putting your hand in a mixer. I will cut him immediately. So a knife man, he just tap on you very fast to cut. Now let's move to the other side. And when Brian do this, okay, take a look. When he come here, my hand is over here. I will not let him punch me because I'm fighting like this. So to assume that you can punch me, it's your first mistake. So when he come, and look again, when he come here, or every time when you have, we do only the hand, every time when you have a static, every time when you have a static, okay? So you cannot be static with a knife. A knife man fight like this. See? I even cut his eyes because I will take again his vision. I will take again his sensors. I'll tap him. I don't want him to have the hands out. You understand? So when I do multiple cuts. So I'm not going to attack him like this. Of course, this works. Same for this one. When I come like this, see? That's why I have a wrist. When I come to block, you see? When I come to block, I switch. And I work. That's why when you come like this, even if you punch, you see? Because you have no defense. See? So, any knife man will teach you the first thing, it's economic of motion. Any motion has a purpose. You don't do this. And now I have economic of motion. Before I put him in a wrist, go back all the way. I do this. If he come back, I immediately stab. Immediately stab. Immediately stab. Immediately cut. Stab. And that's economic of motion. The first thing you study when you start study knife, weapons, martial arts. Economic of motion. Don't do big motion. That's where the gross motor are important. And that's economic of motion. You see? If you attack, and how can he prevent me now? Because my hand is over here. Okay? And also, by putting two hands, that's worse. Because many knife people, they do this and they come here. They attack down, it's like drawing an 8. You come, go there. I got the artery. I go here, I go down. So, by doing this, you're devoting yourself. Two hands are here. Nobody keep your kids in the house. Your artery. Okay? So the first conclusion with a knife, this is the way knife men fight. In defense. His hand is up. You cannot have the hand here or here. The hand must be here to prevent yourself. So that's why don't assume that you can punch me. And you don't want to punch me actually. And the next conclusion is that you cannot teach knife fighting as a static motion. It's a very dynamic, speedy workout. And all the time you go, again, economic of motion, but you see, because this is a deadly zone. I will fight with a knife, only in the deadly zone. If he has a knife, we fight on the deadly zone. I have the right to kill you too, by letter of force. And in law enforcement, they study letter of force. You study like a force of, matrix of force, letter of force. It means I have a knife, you don't have a knife. If I kill you, murder. I go to prison. You have a knife, I don't have a knife. You come to, I'm still unguilty. I do it under circumstance of self-defense. Okay? But if I took the knife, don't kill him. Post-conflict. Don't, you tried to kill me, now I kill you. Now post-conflict, you go to prison. You took the risk, don't come close to me. You come close, cut his hands. Okay? Cut his tendons. Don't try to kill him, because you don't want to go to prison. If you can avoid killing him, when you have the knife in your hand, avoid it, because we teach only self-defense. But to study the concept of knife, let's go and see first, and we'll be a little bit brutal, because I teach you how a knife men think, and that's what we're going to do the next, okay? Okay, what I'm starting actually now to do with Brian, I start like a very basic move that it's called in Filipino martial art ubad, and I'm not going to go to high level ubad. If you see, I don't even attack Brian because of safety. If you see, when I attack like this and not like this. Safety is more important than anything else in training. And if you see, Brian still studied ubad, but the ubad is a motion and a sensitivity drill, and later on I show a few applications why ubad is very important to study when you start to do knife fighting. Okay, if you see, many times in Filipino martial art we cut the wrist. Also, when you attack, ubad in Filipino martial art is at first the knife attack, the knife of meet him, and second is the hand to do a check. So when he come, I have to do it like this way. And why we don't do it in the Israeli martial art? Do it again. Why we do it in the Israeli martial art? This hand. Okay? And only after this hand, this one do the cut. Most of people, even if we have a knife, we carry it on the side. When somebody assaults us, we're under surprise. If I try to take the knife now, because this is my habit, and go first, and second, I might be too late. This is good when the two knives are outside. This is good maybe as a drill. But mostly as a self-defense, my knife, if I ever told a knife, it's here. So when he attack, see, if I don't have a knife, I go with my fingers. I go like to self-defense technique, because nobody says that I have a knife. Nobody says that my knife is sharp enough to cut. Maybe I have a pencil and I just stab him with my pencil, with my fork because I'm eating. Maybe I take an ashtray and I smack you. So the same, I can hit him with the punya, with the back of the knife. But why to hit with this if you have the edge? We are on the using of force on the deadly weapon. So now, when he attack, I will prefer to do not, like I told you, like those mistakes. Don't give your tendons, give the dark. You see, for you, sometimes it's hard, but I'm very cool. I come from California, so I have a dark side and a white side, okay? So you give your dark side, okay? So when you attack, you give your dark meat, not the white one, not the tendons, not the arteries, okay? So when he comes, you do this, and you block him, so he cannot go up. Can maybe go only down. Later on, we're going to solve it. Because if I don't have a knife, I will do also this move. See, if I don't have a knife, I'll do this move. But right now, I don't want still to go to the technique. I want to explain to you where this technique coming from, okay? So, when he come, see, I might want to clinch and break him. You see, now it's more safe to me with the knife, because if I just push him, he can come back again. For me, when he have a weapon and he attack, see, I want to clinch him, because you see, like now, he cannot really stab so much. So that's why I want to clinch him. I don't want to create a gap again, as long as the knife is not in my hand. So when he attack, I give up about my hand. I do a damage control, going to my knife, and go to the deadly zone with him. If I need him, for example, Brian attacked me from here, okay? And there's another guy coming from the back. There are two guys. One is behind you. So when you come, I might go like down, stick it in, and using you, either by lifting you up and throw you to which direction that I want to use you as a shield. That's why I don't kill you. Now I want to use you as my shield. So when you attack, I might come over here. I might also go and drop you down. Same thing as we did at the warm-up, like the rocket chair. But this time, I put myself down, like a takedown. And that's why many times the Ubad in the Israeli martial art is assuming that even if I have a knife, it's here. And now you've been attacking me. Mostly I don't carry weapons. So when you attack, this is called up triangle. This is called down triangle. So when you attack, I have to watch out from this. But you can come and kill me from this side. Or you can do like a boxing, like a punch and a punch. So if I devote here, you can come down. Okay, when I fight with a knife, slowly, good. So take a look. As a knife man, do you remember like those drills that we tap on him? So when he comes, my reaction will do this. You see, like when you come, you see, I will give him an eye jab. So this attraction of the eye jab will help me to trap the knife. And that's why you put this one. Put the other hand up. That's it. So when you see? So as a knife man, you see, I will keep my hands over here. You see? So I'm like a cat. You see? And then you see how I trap? I trap. If you try like now to pull the knife back, you can't. So that's why I trap, and you see my hand is already for the next techniques. Okay? Or to move, Okay? So again, like when you come, my hands are over here. If you attack from this side, see? And that's because I cannot build the up arrow with this hand now, so I move this one. And then I move this one. So when you come, you see? And that's, if you go like up and down, good. And actually what we do now, of course if I'm over here, what should I do? Escape. You can run. You can kick. But again, when I kick, if I kick your groin, what will be happen? Exactly, because you're going to bend on me. So if I kick to your groin, your natural reflex when I kick the groin is to kick. If you come with the ice pick, he will stab you. So you don't kick the groin. The only thing you want to kick is the shin. See? You see? And that will make him too hard to go and make me the gap to escape. My problem starts, I'm stuck on the wall. And now suddenly you attack. Ouch. See? So now, when you attack, for example, you try to pull the knife back. But let's say that you could. So you pull back and you stab again. And you pull back and you stab again. And again, slowly, slowly, come more close to me. I want to show the drill. So like you stab and you go back. And you stab and you go back. Stab. All the time, stab, stab, stab. Okay? So if you see like now, I even don't try to look for him because I'm trying to feel him much better than to, okay? So that's the first drill, is to be able to shoot arrows, okay? And now it's again not a technique, it's a drill, okay? So now you go more rough on me on the wall. Good, and stab. Try really to stab. Good. Now, in the training, it don't mean that you will not be cut or stabbed. So in realistic situation, but you see, I'm trying to teach myself to censor him because the skin is also a sensor. So again, you keep stabbing. Good. And once he's busy, you can step on him. Once you step on him, if you push him, it will break the leg because I'm pushing it. And again, you stab. Keep the face. See? I want to clinch him. You see? I want to clinch him. When I fight with him, he's stabbing me, I have no place to go, I'm in a corner. See? And I got him. From here it's easy. From here it's easy. Many times when you stab, and people do it only as a technique and the grab. Okay, if you look now, that's danger. You must, in this situation, immediately work with your shoulder. You see how it's changed your angle? You see? And now, you see? You feel the difference?
Yep.
So those are arrow up and arrow down. Again, like for the camera. So, you see? And that's give me, 1 second, that's give me more shield. So when you attack, you see, it give you more shield to do not be stabbed by giving only one shield. It don't mean that in a knife fighting it will help a lot, but by doing this, you see, that's why keep your hand here, okay? Okay? And you have the knife. So that's a little bit about up triangle, down triangle, mixed triangles, and that's the first thing that you have to study. So when the guy come, oh, he come here. See? So again, he stab. Again, he stab. Oh, stab. Oh, stab. See? Stab. Mask. Different way. Okay? And that's how it's very dynamic and became more dynamic, and much more than up triangle, down triangle, mixed triangles. But that's again system for triangles for knives. Okay? Also when you come, I can bump him. I can use a lot of other things to distract you and to do use later for a technique. But before you go to a technique, you have to study the drill. Good. Okay? Do I have the ability to do it? No. Just take him down. I'm the good guy. Don't forget. Don't get too psycho. Okay? Okay. Remember the ubad. Now I do a reverse grip. Brian do a straight grip or index grip. So put it on your stomach. Good. When we fight a knife to a knife, you see, he get more distance. I get less distance by holding the knife like this way. But like this, we're getting the same distance. So, but this time I want to fight this way. And, for example, Brian will attack the same thing and I'm fighting over this zone, okay? So, when, yeah, but do like, yeah, okay. So, if you see, I still get in to the knife like this way. That way, you see, I can go over from here. Now, you see where is the ubat coming? You see where is the ubat coming? And if you see the check, and now if you see when I rotate him, if you try to stab me now, can you? No. You see? So, you can take him down and take him, he will slide by his own weight on the knife. So I demo it again. When he come, you see, so I'm from here. You see? Or when you come, you see? I don't know where I'm going to hit. I'm just position myself, okay? So when you come, and I'm trapping. Now, I will not do the ubad. You see? I will not do the ubad before he throw the knife. But when I step in, he throw the knife. Throw the knife. Throw your knife.
No.
Because I stab you.
Okay.
You see? Now, I transfer him. And because we're talking about the art of war, that's how a knife man is going to take you. But the ubad don't mean that you have a knife. But why we keep working with a knife is because you don't want every time to bend and get it up again. But I will not do a transfer with the ubad unless the knife is over. I don't want to have a knife over me so much. I might do it, but you need a lot of skills to do it. But you see, from here, you see? So we do it again, and that's why you see I'm getting in, take him, and either I go even forward and finish. Okay? And that's how a knife man is thinking. They're very rude. Knife is a very, very brutal fight, because you also have to see the guy. And when you stab, you make voices, put blood on you. So you need to be in a very good setup or mind setup to do it. Otherwise, train only with a plastic gun. But to start to understand how to defend against this, which is the top weapon, because it's so available. Everyone can find a knife, buy a knife, improvise a knife by breaking a glass, a popular weapon, and that's the hardest weapon that you have to train. It could be one edge, double edge, short knife. Everything will be a different approach. That's why for knife you must explore and study and study and study. There's no two moves that will block a knife. That's the top martial art. Knife, swords, there's no better martial art than this. Okay, so that's why to assume that you can do this, you don't understand. If you come like this, how you try to block. See how a knife man immediately. You see how a knife man immediately will come to you. It's like a snake. We trap, we stitch, and that's why don't assume things that will never happen in the streets. If you train realistic martial art, if you train like for, of course, don't play it as a game. Don't do only ubad like this. This is good. It's a good drills. But even if you don't have the knife, so when you come, see, the trap, this is very important. This is very important. This is very important. Okay? So you have to study and teach yourself how to glue. And if you see like now when you attack, I took the knife from inside. But it's very risky, because when you do it, if you do it wrong, you cut your own stomach. So just to do ubad and to do it like a game has nothing to do. And now let me do ubad with hand to hand. So he's punching. And I help you. I go very slow. And if you see, it's the art of the center of the body, you see? It's all the time I'm trying to take your center. And you have to avoid, you see? Don't let me take your center there. Stay center with me, okay? So when you come, and that's why ubad are very important drills for sensitivity. Study like how to glue your hand and how to prevent. And also, when the guy is holding me, remember like this, I can do ubad and go and take his back, going to takedowns. Now you start to cook your own food. But everyone built different. Everyone has a different body, different muscles. Not one exercise can work for everyone. Maybe I'm very small, very flexible. I will like disappearing technique. Some other guys, they can fight. So everyone has to choose his own technique. One technique is not good for everyone. And that's the kapap. We teach principles, we teach body moves, feeling each other, and then you create your own technique. I never teach technique. I direct students to think and give me the answer. I give you an example. Get me a knife. Put a knife to my neck from the back. Okay, from here. And hold me like this. This is like a hostage situation. Now, how many times people do this and they go inside and stab the guy? So let's do it. Okay, give me the knife. You're an hostage and you do it. Good. Okay, but let's do it again. Because I did a sentry removal. Sentry removal, the guy is standing, I do this. So when you're here, you're actually in a sentry removal. So you have to calculate where to open the tight. So when I'm over here, if I open it, I'm actually having the knife all the time on my neck. That's the last thing you want. So when I'm here, put the knife. You want first to turn the knife away from you. Second, you see, I use one finger. Second, I switch. I have already the knife. You see? So I can do it as a technique, or later on, I just do it like this way. So you do one, hit him, smack him, like we do headbutt, grab the elbow. Because from here I can go for throws, or I can go for controlling on the elbow. And remember, it's the same controlling of the elbow for many reasons, on many ways. Okay? No matter if it's a stitching technique or whatever. And that's logic. Every time be logic what you do with your exercise. I do again, and just to close this one, hold me in a guillotine. And remember like this. And what do? I do a butterfly. Don't move for a second. What is a butterfly? It's this. What did I did right now? Or if you're strong, you can lift him. I'm not strong. So when the mountain don't move, I must move. So when I'm in the guillotine. And from here, it's jiu-jitsu. Same thing. The guy holding me, I can't go here. He don't let me. I'm trying to fight with him. As a grappler, I hold him here, so he cannot knee me. But we're not doing now a tournament for points. I can immediately go for the nail technique, nailing technique over here. I can immediately try to take a mask on him, try to poke his eyes, okay? You have to feel him. Where is he? You can go here, 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 tap, hit. Instead of taking the knee or here, just grab the groin. It will make him this. Then it will help you to get free. And again, I do it one more thing. From here and from here, I'm stabbing, try to put my fingers, and look, many times I can't. Hold me in a good guillotine. Good, very good, I want to feel. Good, strong one. Good. Now look, I'm putting my hand over him. Of course I can smack, you see? Nobody says that I need to be nice, but this time I will be nice. So, put it. By putting my hand over, look. Guillotine is already open. And I'm using gross motor skills. I'm using only my body move. You do it again, put a good one, and you see that here, and I'm coming over to the leg. Okay? So, work with your body, because even if you're a small guy, you can work with your body. Your body is all the power. But most of the time, when the guy hold you here, don't be a robot. Do this. Mobility is the most important for, and if you see I all the time butterfly myself, and I turn right and left and right with you. You understand? So that's the tips that I want to give you for today.